This is the 28th of this little series on vowed spiritual aloneness for those that have vows or promises of celibacy or thinking about these beautiful states of life. And I'd like to choose something that's a little unusual, but I find it so powerful for me. Before we get into that, let's take a moment just to sit here in the presence of God, welcoming the Lord. The passage that I've chosen comes from a French poet, Christian Poet, um, and he died just maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And this is what he writes: "We fail our lives. We fail everything. What is strange is, in fact, that grace still gets to us when we do all we can to render ourselves unreachable." Now, obviously, it's a generalization and an unfair generalization to characterize our lives that we have failed them, that we have failed everything. And yet, there are moments when we feel that. But there's also a way in which we can abandon our lives and our need to either be successful or to be significant or to have someone else in our lives that thinks of us as important. That just kind of gets erased when we say we fail our lives, we fail everything. And then what happens then, as he says that this failure in many ways is to put ourselves at a distance from God, or to live that resistance from God, who is supposed to be the center of our vowed promised life, and somehow we get caught up in other things, and even the things of God sometimes draw us away from God, and so to say that grace still gets to us when we do all we can to render ourselves unreachable. We cannot render ourselves unreachable to God, to the grace of God. And to be able to abandon ourselves in the God who is reaching us with love and kindness and goodness so much is a great joy. So as pessimistic as this passage looks, it's really got the highest of all optimism, that we cannot be unreachable to God. Grace will always reach us, because grace is the love of Christ, is the love of the Spirit, is the love of Abba, our Father. And somehow, no matter what we do, and however lonely at times we may feel, there is this God reaching out and pouring grace upon us, pouring love upon us. And so we may fail and we may see ourselves as failures, but even in our failures we say, God has found me. Christ has reached me.